starting event. Cool, and we are live. Are we live? Yeah, Willie, join us. We are live.
What's up?
How's it going, everyone? Just comment there in the chat. Hey guys, Sonia, Moni, welcome. Siddle, your webcam on. So we are getting set up today. Exciting webinar where we've got a few hosts joining us, or a presenter joining us from Canada. So really cool event, and really cool to have someone of her nature on. Please, your mic also, or your can you guys just comment? Is the
can you hear us?
Video quite small, and can everyone hear us? On our side, the video is quite small in the bottom corner. Is that for everyone, or is it just for us? But otherwise, welcome. Hey tribe, welcome to the live Willie and Eugene business show. Like I said, today we have a special guest joining us from Canada. So Willie, I think maybe just introduce us. Hi, who is Entrepreneur HQ, just for the guys that's joining. Video small, yes. What is
settings? Good settings.
Sorry, let's just get this up and running. Why is the video so small? Okay.
Also, you sort that out.
Yeah.
So, guys, for everyone that does not know us, welcome to the show. So, who are Entrepreneur HQ? So, we've got a company together, which we do digital marketing for guys. We build sales funnels for them. We build cash flow systems and so forth. But one of the things that we're extremely passionate about, and that's why we've started this company and we've started this show, is we both, since we've met each other, you know, that passion that we've got for entrepreneurship. So we started off by educating entrepreneurs, and, you know, the reason why we're doing that is so that you guys can learn of the mistakes that we've made in our journey. So yeah, that is in a nutshell, that's us.
Yeah, cool. And Willie, you want to tell us about the competition that we're going to be running?
Yeah, super excited. So for everyone that's joining the show, in episode 5, we're going to be releasing the links where we're going to allow you guys to enter this competition. What it entails is you will enter, we'll have an application form. You'll be able to we'll get them to make maybe a little video or something about their business so that you can learn how to make videos, because it's key to advertising on digital marketing. And then we'll get the community to start voting, and we'll shortlist the entrepreneurs after 3 entrepreneurs, and then we'll get them on the show and we'll introduce them. And then eventually we're going to select one entrepreneur, which we're going to take through a journey. We'll coach those guys. we'll help them to set up their sales funnels and systems and so forth, and then we'll help them to start off the digital marketing. And we're going to be recording this or documenting this so that everyone can see the progress that that will be made whilst we go on. We're just having some technical. This happens. Give us a second to see if we can sort this out. No sound.
Guys, sorry about that. So we'll have to work like that. Really, maybe log off on your side and see what happens if the video size increases. Nope. Okay. Cool, guys. Sorry, we're having a few technical issues. So while Willie's joining back on, I am back on. So this happens. This is part of tech. We have to roll with it. So for today's episode, like I say, we've got Kelley joining us. So Kelley's from Canada. She's an absolutely amazing entrepreneur. Her businesses, personal level, just how the whole part operates and how she connects with people in South Africa. And now she's built this massive community in South Africa. So yeah, luckily we are both together today. I don't know what's happening with the cool. So we're going to have Kelley on. If you have any questions for Kelley, she's going to talk about mindset. As we all know that your business is a reflection of you. So if your mind isn't set up, and if your mind isn't at a space where it's operating at 100% efficiency, your business is going to reflect the same. So the same as what we have physical fitness. So a lot of us jog and do all those sort of things for our physical fitness. What are you doing for your emotional fitness? So Willie, before we get Kelley on, we were talking before the show, just what you do each morning and what an impact that's made. You were feeling quite stressed out, and then you started doing these morning rituals. Just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I think one of the things, when you want to grow as a person or entrepreneur, you need to start working and doing self-development and things like that. And one of the things that you will teach is self-awareness. So that's basically where you do something wrong and you're actually able to recognize that you're doing something. Because if you don't know you're doing something wrong, how would you actually fix it? And I was going through quite a rough time, and it happened during this lockdown period where I don't know how to explain it, but I got very, very anxious about a lot of things, and I kind of got to a point where my back was like going, stiff, and my neck and
stressed out, the neck
extremely stressed out, and so I did some sort of introspection, and I kind of had to sit down and say, what am I going to do to relieve this? Because obviously operating in a state of stress all the time it's not ideal at all.
Sorry guys, can you hear us?
Still there?
It seems like internet's up and down.
Thanks, George. Yeah, so I was saying, sir, I had to go and do self or introspection. And the one thing that I realized was
cool.
terrible today. So the one thing that I started doing was I actually got myself a journal. And the first thing I got up in the morning is I wrote down everything that came up in my head. And what I call it a mind dump. And what that did for me was it allowed me to shift my mindset towards the things that actually matters, and move away from all the stuff that is distracting you from doing the things that you really need to do. So I can really, if I think about what I've gone through the last 15 days and how I've really, by doing those little things, and I did things like writing down affirmations, where I say them up aloud and I hear them, and that sort of started to get me a lot of more positive. And just by doing that on a daily basis, I'm actually at the point where I wouldn't say I'm completely stress-free, but I mean, I've got direction. I know exactly what I need to do for that specific day. And if I don't do that, my mind is just all over the place, and I can't get to what I need to be doing. And it's it's really not that difficult, but it's something for me in any way. I don't know what you do, Eugene,
So very similar. I think guys, just in the comments as well, type out what is some of your morning rituals that you go through, or what is some of the stuff that you do when you are stressed out. What is some of the actions that you take on a morning basis, or how do you relieve that stress? So whether it's meditation or going to the gym or just reading something, taking a break, what is some of the stuff that you are doing? And how's it affecting your mindset? How does it affect you to get your energy back up? Because we need to get that energy back up. And that is what Kelley's going to talk to us about. So Kelley's going to talk about just mindset and how she's controlled this, especially during this lockdown period. I think everyone suffered during the lockdown period. And COVID is just another obstacle. These type of obstacles come on a regular basis. So if it's not the currency that's going off, or legislation, or whatever it is, there'll be obstacles. What do we do about these obstacles? Do we actually blame the obstacle and then stop our business, or do we see the opportunities in that obstacle? So how many businesses has really taken off? Willie, I know you know one or two businesses that's really made a massive growth during this period. What is one of them? For example, the hand sanitizer guys and some of your other clients that you do the cash flow stuff for?
Yeah, so I've got couple clients that went into this lockdown, and there's some of them who's not going to make it, and there's some of them that's actually progressed to the next level like you will not believe. I mean, just to give you an examples, we've spoken about them before. But Natalie, who had an online business, we had a discussion about how should she go about tackling this thing before this lockdown. After getting a mindset right, she's actually gone out there and she's made record month on month for the last 2-3 months. And then the hand sanitizer guys, before the lockdown, they were going through a really, 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 really deep crisis. And when this thing came about, they readjusted, and they were extremely agile. And that's one of the things about being successful, I think, is you need to be very agile. But that's also a mindset. You need to get your mind around it, that maybe the decision that you're going to make is not maybe going to be the right decision, but you have to make the decision and you need to back that decision. And it's okay to make the wrong decision as long as you're able to back yourself and say, okay, I made a mistake, and then change quickly. I think that's very important. I think
mindset is crucial. Does everyone agree that mindset is probably one of the most critical factors in running a successful business? Mindset is one of the biggest factors that produce successful entrepreneurs versus entrepreneurs that's not as successful. Do you guys agree with the mindset, and do you work on your mindset? As we mentioned, you've got your physical fitness and then you have your emotional fitness. And I think that's what Kelley's going to talk to us about today, is just the emotional fitness part. How do you look after your mind? How do you move over these obstacles? So she's a mindset coach as well. So she's going to join us. I actually joined Kelley's program. So Kelley's got a program that I joined. It's a 2-month program, costs a couple of $1,000. And we go through this 2-month process of focusing your mind and going through the habits. So we continuously invest and we continuously move into these areas where we just look after our mind. We invest in ourselves, so we put out the money. We put our money where our mouth, or what's it that we eat our own dog food. So we eat our own dog food. We spend just as much money on our personal development as we do on anything else. Because if your mind isn't up and running, then nothing else is. So Kelley is a coach from Canada, and welcome, Kelley. Is Kelley on?
Kelley.
I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Awesome. So Kelley, I just did a quick introduction about you, and now I got to meet you. Get to meet you, and just some of the changes that you've made in my life through going on some of your courses, and just the different areas of your mind. How important it is to have the correct mindset to run your business, because your business is a reflection of you. Before we get into that, just tell us a bit about yourself and how you got up to South Africa, ended up in South Africa. What was the process and how did that come about?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on your guys' show. I'm super honored and excited to be a guest. And so as Eugene shared, my name is Kelley from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Living here in Johannesburg right now on lockdown, which has been, really exciting. I'm not sure if any of you out there ever spent 80 days by yourself before. You definitely learn a lot about yourself in the process. And so how I got here. So I'll just maybe start at my university days. So I took international business at school in university, not because I knew I was going to have an international business yet. My parents told me, hey, you got to go to school. And I thought, okay, what am I going to take? And I love travel. I love exploration. I have a sense of adventure. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take international business because I get to do an exchange in a different country. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life at that time. I mean, I was 19, 20. And so that's what I did. And I got to go to Mexico and take 6 months of university classes, all in Spanish. So super cool. It was hablo poquito de español. Well, when I was in Mexico, it was funny because it was all classes in business and in Spanish, and I knew how to say like, "Hi, I'm Kelley. I have a dog. I'm 24." And that was about it. So Yet what it did was it like put this burning desire, you know, for myself to continue to live abroad and experience other cultures and have that adventure, and forever grateful for that. So that put me on the path. Yet when I finished university, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. If you were to ask me, hey, Kel, like, what direction are you going in your life? What's your purpose? What are your passions? I really couldn't answer those questions because I'd never taken time to really consider it. And so how I put myself through school was as a waitress and bartending and working in restaurants. And so after university, I just fell in line with that because I didn't really know what direction to go. And I ended up working my way up to the top. And for about 10 years, I managed restaurants. Made pretty great money. Yet about 10 years after that, I was really starting to feel that nagging, you know, sense of not being fulfilled, and asking myself, like, is this it? Like, is this what life is meant to be? You know, working 10, 12 hours a day, you know, first in, last to leave, always having a cap on my salary, no matter how hard I work. Yeah,
sorry,
having a boss.
A lot of our viewers also fall into that same category. To be an entrepreneur is this urge, it's this feeling inside of you, and it doesn't go away until you actually start your business. It sticks there. I had that same urge. So I think a lot of the viewers also is until you actually start your business, it doesn't go away.
It doesn't ever go away. And, you know, I think sometimes we just don't even know that the universe is putting us on that path, right? Through, if you look back in the rear view mirror, you're like, that's why that all happened. And after restaurants, I started asking myself the question, like, hey, what is life all about? And, you know, I really believe the quality of the questions you ask yourself is the quality of the life you're going to live. And so I started, you know, really doing some soul searching, and I found myself in personal development. And I spent about the same amount of money as going to university as I did in my personal development journey. And for quite a few years. And I started to discover all these goals and dreams and desires I'd buried underneath. And that there was really a lot out there in the world that I wanted to do, and that I was starting to realize I was capable of. And I worked for that company for, you know, on and off for about 5 years. It was a personal development company. And that's where I discovered my passion of coaching and mentorship and leadership development. Yet it was a nonprofit. So I took a massive pay cut. So now I found my passion and I wasn't making any money. I was working 2 or 3 jobs to live my passion. And I was thinking, oh my God. And then I started to be unfulfilled again. And I was like, man, there's gotta be a way. And I started to see all these people that I respected and admired. And I believe that if you want something, spend time with people who have it. Listen to the people who have the life that you want. And a lot of people approached me in a direct sales business, and I was really skeptical. I wasn't open. A couple years into continuing to be approached, I took a look and I said yes, because once again, as you talk about people being on this call, having this urge to be an entrepreneur, I started to realize I wanted to have that lifestyle, right, of freedom, where I could do what I want, when I want, with who I want, where I want. And most importantly, I believed it was possible through all the personal development work I had done. So I dived in, and my business that I decided to partner with is in 50 different countries. And so that began my journey of, hey, where do I want to build my business? The sky's the limit. And we opened different countries, you know, every couple of years. And the first country I went to was Vietnam. They opened it and I said, I'm going. And went to Vietnam. I mean, I was there for about a month building the business in back alleys, different people, zero, I don't know Vietnamese, you know, attempting to build my business. So that was an adventure. Yet it gave me the courage to realize that if I could build a business in a foreign country where I don't even know the language, in back alleys, you know, in Vietnam, I can do it anywhere. And then the next country opened and it was Chile. And I said, I'm going. And I went there and I got asked to be one of the leaders there who ran the leadership, you know, system. So I got to learn a lot, and I got to hang around multimillionaires because I put myself in the environment of where they hung out. And I was the bottom. I was at the bottom of these people. I was nowhere near a millionaire, yet that's who I hung out with all the time. And so I just, you know, once again, surround yourself with people that, you know, you wanna be like. And it was the most invaluable experience I ever had. And then just lastly, to share how I got to South Africa, was I was in Chile, and it was my 3rd time there, and it just wasn't happening for me. Like, I just, you know, it didn't matter what I did. The business just wasn't growing. It wasn't expanding. I was met with a lot of resistance, and I thought, and my boyfriend at the time was at the time, I'm still with him. But at the time, my boyfriend, he was in Botswana building his business, and he builds business around Africa. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to South Africa because our business is legally able to be here. I didn't know one person here. And I hopped on a plane with a suitcase. I landed here, didn't know a person. And when my plane left a month later, I didn't get on it. I stayed. I left my other suitcase in Chille, and never went back for it, and just caught a massive vision for what was possible for me in South Africa. And now it's 4 years later, and here I am.
So how important is it to select the people that you hang out with? You mentioned that you learn from all these great mentors. How important was it spending time with them?
Oh my gosh, I think that's one of the number one success habits to adopt, is to who you become the average of who you spend your time with. And most of the time, you know, in my past, I was listening to and hanging around people who didn't have the things that I desired, yet they were the ones who are influencing my decisions. And it's just natural that we grow into our environment. And so the question is, what's your environment? And I started to really hand select who I spent my time with, who I listened to. And it absolutely influenced, one, what I believed was possible, you know, what I believed I can do. And just by nature and by science, you know, you hang around an environment of people who are entrepreneurs, making lots of money, giving back, philanthropists, in shape, you naturally will start to become like them. And so it's extremely important. It's really why I am where I am.
Okay. And then from a habits perspective, how important is it to have habits? What's the effect of habits? And maybe share one or two of your habits that you have.
Okay, for sure. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, habits really are what are going to dictate our results. And, you know, I believe that beliefs come from what we choose to tell ourselves. And so what you tell yourself over and over again is you're going to be right about. Yet our beliefs stem through, you know, our behaviors, which create our habits, and our habits either serve us or don't serve us. And so I've worked really hard and diligently to create success habits for myself. Just like, you know, if you want to lose weight, you go to the gym. You don't lose weight overnight. You got to, you know, eat healthy and, you know, exercise every day. And you have to be intentional with getting to the size that you want to be or the health you want to be. So with the mindset, I believe in mindset habits. And one thing that I've adopted throughout the time is something called a miracle morning mindset. And so I believe how you start your morning is going to be how your day goes. And we're in control of that. You're in control of that. And so I do my best. I mean, I'm not perfect yet. I do my best most mornings to wake up and start my day with these habits of meditation, affirmations, visualization, reading. What, you know, you put in your mind is what comes out, and journaling, so that I can, you know, tap into solutions that I didn't know I had just by putting pen to paper, you know, and journaling what comes out. And so mindset habits are super important. And just discipline and consistency with wherever you're going and what it is that you desire.
Consistency is such a big thing. It's probably one of the biggest factors for our success. If we look at the webinars that we run, those sort of things, we started off about 2 years ago with it. And on our first webinar, we had 2 attendees. Nothing sucks the energy out of your sales like having 2 people attend your webinar and then they leave halfway through. So myself and Willie ended up doing the webinar for the 2 of us. So he did his side for me and I did mine for him.
And I think the important thing about consistency is, even if you don't, you know, what I've seen is guys set these massive goals. Like, for example, I want to be a millionaire. And they set themselves these goals, but they never go and break it down in little chunks. So they kind of, you know, get this discouraged and they just leave it there. Whereas if you just do something consistently, and even if you just do it at like 75%, you know, the other guy has stopped doing the same. Well, he stopped doing that thing like way back when because he could not see the end point, you know, and it's extremely powerful. Just if you think about it in that way, is how you make those little leaps by just being consistent, doing something consistently. And yeah, I think
before we get into the your businesses, because we're really interested in the businesses that you run and the coaching and the courses. I was telling everyone I was one of your attendees for one of your courses as well, and just how important that continuous personal development is to continuously move forward. And even though I've been doing it for 7 years, I've spent close to probably 350,000, 400,000 rand on personal development stuff. Trips that cost 50,000 rand to go to Bali, trips that cost me 75,000 rand to go to San Diego and Los Angeles for business mindset seminars. And that's probably all the stuff I do, because all the other information's online. You can find all the information about how to build a sales funnel, all that sort of stuff. The thing you can't is being in that environment with the people. So I put the slider, and that is, how can the 5 people see the same accident and have a different report? Is how do we continuously develop our conditioning? We were conditioned to believe certain things. How do we move across that? And then what you were talking about, the habits, is win the mornings and you'll win the day. So how important those early morning habits are. But then from the other side, as I mentioned, is this continuous journey for self-development. How important is it to have this continuous journey for self-development?
Sorry, Eugene, what was the question? You just broke up there for a second.
Is the journey of personal development and self-development. I know you take it quite seriously, and you actually just did a course in the US or in Canada as well, where you sent me the photos of that amazing lodge where they take the people out. And it's expensive, eh? We pay anywhere between 10 and 100,000 rand for one of these courses, and they 5, 6, 7 days in total. And so it's quite expensive, yet you constantly do it.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? For me, it's the heartbeat of living an extraordinary life, right? And so I just to kind of share my journey once I landed in South Africa, and why personal development and focusing on our mindset is so important is because that's the difference. That's the differentiator between people who become successful and don't. You know, they actually did a study, and I think it was Harvard, where they said, why do certain people go to Harvard and leave, and some are successful and some aren't? And they literally did a study, and they said, is it because of skill, knowledge, or attitude? And they said the difference between those that become successful is attitude. It's people's attitude, right? And so, you know, the truth is, as an entrepreneur, I know for me personally, it's been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Truthfully, it has been the hardest thing I've ever done. And I believe that, yeah, right. And when you go through, yet it's been the most rewarding, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Yet I think people get into entrepreneurism and they think it's just going to be awesome, right? Like it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah, like thousands and thousands of dollars and
free time and money and travel and work 4 hours a day.
Yeah, right. And it's like yeah, right. That's like the end result and the end goal. Yet, I mean, what happens in between there in the journey and learning how to enjoy it while you overcome challenge after challenge after challenge, you know, that takes a mindset, a success mindset. And, you know, when I first came to South Africa the first time, here's the truth. I stayed here for 5 months the first time. I'd never worked harder in my life. I was doing 30 to 60 business presentations a month from not knowing anybody. And I left here 5 months later without one person in my business, broke because I'd spent all my money, and I had to call somebody and ask them to borrow money to fly home. And like, that was literally my first kick in the can here in South Africa. Yet the truth is I had a vision, and I really believe that what's the first key to success is know what you want, know why you want it, know where you're going and by when, and have a vision for yourself. You know,
grab a pen and paper. So I see George saying that it's frozen. Can everyone else hear us still? You have grown on the screen. I feel like the Mario brother that ate the mushroom. So can everyone else hear us? Is because I see George say it's frozen. Just grab a pen and paper quick, guys, because Kelley shared really cool tips there. You mentioned the 4 things, Kelley. Just repeat that for everyone else.
Well, yeah, so just it's important to have vision to know what you want, you know, where you're going, why, and by when. And here's the truth with vision is without vision, people will perish, right? It's why people kind of just float through life. And I believe that being an entrepreneur also is the skill of having delayed gratification. So when you are certain of the outcome, when you have certainty of where you're going and by when in your vision, you can afford to wait. And so, you know, those 5 months, I developed so much skill, yet I didn't get the result for what I had desired yet. And the truth is, you know, whenever you set a goal, it is exciting because there's the hope for the future and what's possible and what it's going to bring for you and the impact. Yet as you start to move towards it, you're going to go through frustration and anxiety and overwhelm with unknowns, fears, obstacles coming up, adversity. The key is to not quit. And here's the truth. Most people will quit, which is why they never get what they want.
So going back to the nugget.
Yeah, right, until they get there. And so that goes back to that consistency piece of like being willing to go into what I call the investment phase and just develop the skill through repetition, develop the skill, get better, what's working, what can improve, how do I get better, what do I do? And just keep developing your skill to develop confidence to get to where you want to be. Yet that investment phase is the delayed gratification piece, right? Yeah. So most people, I think, would have quit after my experience of being here for 5 months, a fish out of water, foreign country, female, meeting strangers every single day, you know, and leaving here, having my business go backwards, no money, where I had to borrow money. And then I had to go home and live with my parents at the age of 39, feeling like a massive failure, with my tail between my legs, telling everybody I was going to have a global business, having been gone for 8 months and coming home, having, in my perspective, in the moment, feeling like everything had gone backwards, right? And that was a really hard pill to swallow. That was yet it was the biggest lesson learning of my life, to realize that resiliency and what you choose to do in the face of adversity, that's where your true character comes from. And most people will quit on their goals and themselves and their vision when they're faced with that kind of adversity, versus pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and keep moving towards what it is you said you wanted in the first place. And I almost did quit. I almost threw in the towel, yet thankfully I had the mindset, because I'd done a lot of work on myself personally, that, hey, Kel, that's just a setback for a comeback. You know, that whole saying, it's just whatever that saying is, it's just a setback for a comeback. And I thought, okay, you know what, that's it. And here's a cool saying that I have from this book. I usually have it on me. It's called The Miracle. What is it called? The Miracle Equation. It's unwavering faith plus extraordinary effort equals miracles. And so unwavering faith means that you don't ever doubt your vision. Once you have your vision and you've made a decision, that's it, right? Like, you just have faith, and no matter what comes your way. And then extraordinary effort is doing the things that most people aren't willing to do to get what you want. That's the difference, right? Entrepreneurs who achieve success are willing to do what those who aren't willing to do. And I just decided I'm going for it. I'm going to find a way to get myself back up, get back to South Africa. And here's my miracle. So the miracle equation is unwavering faith plus extraordinary effort equals miracles. So I started rebuilding my business, and we have success trips in our business. And literally they announced the next success trip. It could be anywhere in the world. And they were like, drum roll, South Africa. That's where the trip was. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I just come back. Yeah, right? Talk about a miracle. Yet that's what happens. That's what happens, right? And so
the question for you as well is, during this lockdown period, we were talking about obstacles. And lockdown for me was just another obstacle, another opportunity to innovate. You've had some amazing success during lockdown. Tell us about the successes and the wins that you've had.
Absolutely. So, this is my 7th trip back here, skipping ahead from that story. And this is my 7th time here. And if there's a will, there's a way. And over the last few years, I just stuck it out in my business, and I was consistent, and my business grew. Being here in the last 3 months, I came here to put on events, to meet people in person. I'm in charge of running everything here in South Africa for our business. And I flew all the way here literally to physically be with people and teach and train and organize. And all of a sudden lockdown happens. My boyfriend was on his way here to meet me, and he got stuck in Germany and had to turn around and go home. So I'm here by myself, and all of a sudden, not able to go anywhere. And so here's what I believe too is, adversity causes resistance, yet there's the law of opposites is all working in the world, meaning that if there's equal adversity, there's equal opportunity. If there's equal drawbacks, there's equal benefits. Yeah, and it really, truly 100% comes back to the mindset. So we get to make up our own stories. So are you making up a story that serves you or one that doesn't serve you? And so I sat down during lockdown and I said, hey, here's all the drawbacks. And this is what I encourage everybody to do. make a list of your drawbacks when you're faced with a challenge, and like just allow yourself to see them and feel them, and like empty your cup with them. Yet then if the law of opposites, which is a universal law, is true, it means there's equal benefits. And sit down and make a list of all the equal benefits so that you can see it. And then you have a choice. And we always have a choice. And we have a choice to choose to create a story that serves us, because we're going to make one up anyway. So you may as well make one up that's going to be a good one. So I just decided that I'm going to come out of lockdown in the best space I've ever been, financially, in my businesses, with my health, in my relationships. And I just decided. And I said, hey, this is going to be the biggest blessing that's ever happened to me. And my business grew 400% from April to May in the worst economy ever. Yeah. And I lost probably about, thank you. I've lost about 15 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilos, like maybe 8 or 9 kilos. My boyfriend and I were on the verge of breaking up. And we because he's not here, it caused us to have courageous conversations through video and calls, and we're actually in the best space we've ever been in. And I have repaired relationships with my mom and dad. We always had an okay relationship, yet they're not of a mindset of entrepreneurism. So everything I do freaks them right out, and they come from fear. And so they're my dream stealers in my life, even though I love them to death, and they feel they're my biggest supporters. I'm sure everybody has a family member like that. Amazing people, yet not in alignment with how we're living our life. And use this time to foster relationships with them. And I talk to them every single day for the last 90 days. And I can honestly say my life is on an upswing during this crazy, crazy time.
Unbelievable. So what is some of the tips and tricks that you use to get through the lockdown and to keep yourself motivated and driven and passionate, and to be able to achieve 400% growth in a business that's already quite big? To then 400% growth in 2 or 3 months is insane. That all came from a mindset shift. So what is some of the tools and tips that some of our viewers can use? Guys, grab your pen and papers.
Write down.
What's a few things that they can use to just keep that motivation up and keep that that energy and the drive and the action and the consistency?
Yeah, well, I think, the first thing I shared is, first of all, you got to know what you want, right? So I set goals for myself, and that was super important. So always having a target, always having, a goal, or, knowing what you're working towards is super important. And then also for myself, it was, in all honesty, here's the truth. The question I was asking myself is, how much am I going to be in integrity with myself behind closed doors? Because I'm here in this condo by myself. Nobody knows what I'm doing. I could be watching Netflix all day. Like I could literally be Netflix and chilling all day and saying I'm running my business, right? And I think that being accountable to ourselves is one of the hardest things to do, in the best of times. And so having an accountability partner would be something. That's what I did. So I got a coach. I actually hired a coach, and he's a millionaire, and he's like a tough. Like I was like, oh my God, this guy's my coach. Like I need to like literally perform. And so I just know that if I'm accountable to someone else, I will do what I need to do for me. Yet that's what works. So accountability partners, coaches, going back to who you hang out with. I decided for my health to surround myself in a community of athletes who were doing daily workouts and choose to participate in that. So I put myself into environments and situations and circumstances that I knew I would have to raise up. I would have to level up. Leadership calls with the top leaders here in South Africa. I asked to be on them. And so here's the truth. Like if you hurry up and wait, you'll never get what you want in your life. You can't wait around for people to anoint you to be a leader. If you want to be an entrepreneur, that means you're taking on leadership. And if you're waiting for someone to anoint you as a leader, you are never going to get what you want. You got to be like a leader of self at the highest level. And so, going back to that mindset in the morning, I just knew what I wanted. I have it written down. I wake up every morning, I stare at it, I think about it, I put myself in the feeling of having it and achieved it. And then I time block. Here's the other thing. Even though I'm by myself and I'm here, if you looked at my schedule, you'd think it's the schedule of a crazy person. And I literally just told myself, I'm going to be willing to do the work. I'm going to be willing to pay the price and be willing to be, I'm going to be willing to be the 1%. So I worked 400%. I worked 14 to 18 hour days for 2 months straight.
And tell me, Kelley, how important is a coach in any entrepreneur's life?
Oh my gosh, massive.
Coach or...
Yeah, massive. I just think that I know I can't see my blind spots. That's why they're called blind spots, and if I'm truly looking to improve as a person and be a better version of myself, it's being willing to change and being coachable. And most people struggle with that concept of being willing to change because it's not comfortable. Yet a coach guides you in seeing your blind spots. I don't believe a coach gives you your answers. I'm a coach. I don't want to give someone their answers, but I'm going to ask them enough questions such that they can discover their blind spots to make changes and to hold themselves accountable to the things that they say they want. Because going back to, if you ask yourself, I know my biggest downfall is accountability to myself when no one's watching. Yet if I have a coach or I have a team or I have a community or I've shared with people what my goals are, and I've told people what I'm doing, well, now my credibility's on the line. Now, I'm going to be more inclined to do the things that I said I'm going to do, even though it sucks sometimes and it's uncomfortable. And I'm like, why did I tell people my goals? I'm like,
how important is that? But when you start doing that, right?
And how important it is to have a coach. I mean, we all have coaches. So for the guys, all the viewers know that I'm a business coach, specifically in the tech sector. And Kelley's actually my mindset coach. So Kelley's my coach. I pay her to coach me. So for every entrepreneur, I think it's vital to have a coach so myself and Kelley chat on Tuesday evenings. And we've got a group as well, the Power of 7. So how important it is for you to surround yourself with powerful people. And just how important it is to have that coach. I've been being coached for the last 7 years. I haven't gone more than 2 weeks without seeing my coach. And I pay a couple of $1,000 an hour to be coached. I can't see myself running the businesses, being motivated. Before the time, I feel so overwhelmed and everything's all over the place. And like you say, the blind spot, and you walk out and it's almost as if everything's structured and this weight is off your shoulders and you
all this clarity of where you need to go.
And you know exactly where you want to go. And cool, now I know where I want to go again. Now we can hit the ground running.
And someone also accountable.
Yeah. And then you look at the time. So I spend probably $100,000 a year on my coach. What is the income that I generate because of that? So our businesses are in the millions. We do multiple millions for our businesses, all three of us. And I couldn't do that if I didn't have a coach. I'd be stuck running a 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 rand a year business instead of multiple millions, 10 to 20 million rand businesses. But that 100,000 rand, now I think Mark said it as well, is someone be coached to run $1 billion business or take $1 million rand? They'll take the $1 million rand instead of building $1 billion rand business for coaching, because that takes time and effort. So the return on investment is huge. You spend 100,000 rand a year on a coach, I can almost guarantee you your income will increase or your business turnover will increase by $1 million. And small businesses that $1 million or $2 million a year, there's a few small changes that you can make to quickly double that business. You can double that business in a couple of months by making a few small changes. Without a coach, it's just so much more difficult.
I agree. Well, and it comes down to that question of like, if people are asking, well, what is it going to cost? Right there, your mindset isn't necessarily focused on abundance and the growth. It's like, no, what's the value it's going to bring? So it's like a value conversation, to your point. And, investing in oneself is that you can never go wrong to invest in yourself. And the reward will always be higher than not doing it. Right. So the question I have for people when they say, well, how much is it going to cost? I'm like, how much is it going to cost you not to do it?
Exactly. Kind of, we need to the scarcity mindset where you've got this is going to cost me this amount, where you've got the abundance mindset where this is an investment into my future, and it's but it's quite interesting. That's a whole discussion by itself. The scarcity and abundance mindset.
Yeah. Well, and can I add one more thing, that because you asked me how did my business grow, and I think it's the most important piece. And it's even how you and I met, Eugene, and I'm so grateful for you and your friendship. And it's 2 parts. It's relationships. So, you know, your net worth is equal to your network, that whole conversation. And, you know, forming relationships is just massively important as an entrepreneur. And the second piece of that is coming from a service mindset. And so in all honesty, I've had times in my life, because when you're struggling and in survival mode, it's easy to make it about myself and be like, oh my gosh, I need money. Like I need somebody to buy my product or buy my service or sign up in my business or take my coaching because I'm in survival mode. And it's easy to make it about ourselves. Yet this last few months, you know, my question I kept asking myself was, how many people can I serve this month? How many lives can I change this month? Who am I going to make an impact on? Yeah. And a service mindset, you get paid in direct proportion to how you service mankind. And that's the last thing I'll share, is that as an entrepreneur, if you come from that perspective, you will thrive.
Kelley, I can't believe it's almost been an hour.
Super exciting.
So just really thanks for that. We're going to allow the viewers to ask a few questions as well. Just before, is Kelley frozen? No, there you go. Just before we get to that, guys, most of the viewers are actually part of our mastermind group. So we've got a mastermind group that we run. We have a WhatsApp group. This video is part of it. So every Thursday we run the business show where we interview, what do we call them? Big fish, or giants. Where we interview giants.
Oh, I'm a giant. I'm honored.
You're a giant, Kelley.
I know, I level them both entrepreneurs, or they've got a specific area that they want to share. So there's a lot of value. And then we've got a course as well that's how to build your online store, how to run your digital marketing. So it takes you through the whole process of setting up a store. So for the guys that's not part of our mastermind group yet, we're running a special. So it's not a full sales pitch. It's once off. It's $750. You'll see on the right-hand side is the offer. So if you want to join our mastermind group and join all the viewers that's in the group, be part of this. And then there's a whole bunch of other benefits of being part of our mastermind group. Once the lockdown's over, then we'll have in-person events and stuff as well. Then we can actually meet each other face-to-face. So we'll have like one-day events and stuff. If you want to join our mastermind, we normally charge $500 a month for the during the lockdown. We've got a once-off registration fee of $750, and you get lifetime access. So all the value and stuff, like we say, we spend a couple of $100,000 a year on our stuff. So $750 once off to be part of this network. Having myself and Willie to coach you through the stuff and sharing our journey is really it's a no-brainer. I mean, $750, we all know what these things cost. So to be part of the group, and then you get our full course. So it's on the right-hand side. If you guys do want to join, please click on the link and then join our mastermind group, where we'll then add you to our WhatsApp group, and you'll get the full course on how to build your business, how to build your e-commerce stores, what's the funnels we use, what's the software we use. And then we're busy updating our Facebook course as well, because business managers change. So we're going to throw in a Facebook 101 course as well, where we're going to explain exactly how to run your Facebook ads and stuff. And Kelley, you were actually part of one of my training series on the advanced level of Facebook ads and stuff. So you know how complicated it can get. So to have that person to just walk you through that process is really amazing. And that's all. I think then we can have a few questions. If you guys have questions for Kelley, please type it in the comments. I've got one more question that I want to ask Kelley. But before I do, let's see if any of our viewers have any other questions. And I know Willie has one or two questions as well. So guys, on the right-hand side, I'm going to remove the offer now so that you guys can get into the text box.
Kelley.
So just ask us with a few questions. What's the questions that you guys have?
So Sonia has a question for Kelley. How would you go about choosing your coach? What questions do you ask to get the right coach? Very important. Good question.
That's a really great question, you know. And one definitely, I feel you do want to vet your coach. Just don't choose anybody, right? And so for me, when I'm actually and I choose my clients too, by the way, as a coach, right? I don't just take anybody. So I say definitely get into a conversation with somebody who's willing to get on a call with you and get to know you. And I believe, you know, when choosing a coach, you want to choose someone who is credible and has your best interests at heart and truly wants to know about you, who you are, what you want, you know, and ask you those questions. So choosing a coach for me is really about having a conversation, making sure that they're going to ask you about yourself and what you want and where you're going. This might not be the best answer. You definitely can do due diligence and look for referrals and testimonials and, have they actually helped other people get results? Poke around a little bit in that way. I honestly believe two things. One, do they have what I want? Right. So it's kind of like, and I don't mean this badly, but if you want to get into the best shape, you're not going to go and train with a trainer who isn't in shape, for example. So do they have what you want in the field that you want to grow in? That's super important. Two, do they do they match your style or personality? Because a lot of times you want someone who maybe isn't like you, right? That could be a great thing. Three, I would just say trust your gut, right? I just believe intuition is a wonderful thing. And once you've done a little bit of your due diligence around testimonials and credibility references, and do they have what you want truly, not just because they're telling you that, and just trust, if that you believe that person's going to be a match for yourself. And I think that would probably be how I share that. I get on a call with every single one of my clients and have an in-depth conversation with them. I take notes, I listen, I pay attention, and I truly ask them what it is they want to create. And I tell them how I'm going to help them get it before they even choose me as their coach.
And then Joanne's asking, do you get a business coach or tech coach or mindset coach? Or do you get one coach that addresses all? I'm not a big fan of multiple coaches. I don't know, what's your opinion on multiple coaches, Kelley?
Yeah, I'm the same as you, Eugene, because here's my thing. I might not know, technology, or I might not know what your business exactly is, yet I feel I'm really great at just helping you do what you need to do to get what you want. And so having multiple coaches sometimes can confuse the situation. It's almost like clutter versus focus. And it can cause distractions. And so that's my belief too, is, choose a coach that basically is just helping you get what you want in all areas of your life. If you do have a niche, and you're wanting to focus on one specific area, source out somebody who is great in that area, like maybe a health coach, for example, or, business coach. Yet I've never had multiple coaches. I've only ever had one.
Yeah. And if I look at myself as well, I'm a tech coach. I specifically coach entrepreneurs around the tech. Willie's a financial coach, so he coaches around your financials and those sort of stuff. All of us know mindset, though. Mindset is a key part of being a coach. So 50% of being coach, although I'm a tech coach, I specialize in tech businesses and helping people to use tech. 50% of what I coach on is mindset, because your business is a reflection of you. And so there's the saying, sell them what they want, but give them what they need. For some reason, most people I've found they don't want to pay. If you look at all these seminars, the get rich quick stuff, they really sell high tickets. But the guys selling mindset are quite a bit lower sales. So even though it's the most important area, everyone wants to go for this get rich quick stuff. Yet the most important part is mindset. So being a coach, you'll have that mindset part as well. Every coach should be able to coach you on your business, other people, and personal. And the personal is your mindset, your cultures, your values, your beliefs, your conditioning, all that sort of stuff. Yep. So having a coach that understands all of those areas and coach you through that. So yeah, I totally agree. One coach, different areas of fitness, business, etc. But one coach. Cool, guys. Is there any other questions? Kelley, I've got one more question.
We've got lots of questions, but time for one.
Okay.
BTCs.
Sorry. Did you say talk about BTCs?
Yep.
I love that. Okay, so I really believe that part of what I coach when somebody is my client is that language is really a big piece of the results that we have, and it dictates our results. And a lot of times subconsciously and unconsciously we speak in a certain way, and for me, I really listen to when people speak, because it allows me to understand where someone's limitations are coming from. And so Eugene's asking me to chat about BTCs because I've supported him with this language that B stands for but, T stands for try, and C stands for can't. And now I challenge everybody this week to go out into the world and to pay attention to when people are speaking on how often those 3 words come up in someone's vocabulary. And it is so limiting and a massive reason why people don't have what they want. So I'll just quickly chat. Like, so try. So it's like, try to stand up, right? Well, no, you either stand up or you don't. The word try is used so much in business where people say, well, I'll try to do this and I'll try to do that and I'll try to hit my targets and I'll try to get my goals. You won't. When somebody tells me, oh, I'll try to be on that call at 3, I literally say to them, so you're not going to be on the call? They're like, what are you talking about? I told you I'd try. I'm like, exactly. Either you're going to be there or you're not. So are you committing to the call or are you not committing to the call? And they're like, whoa, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, I'll be there. Right? Like, it's a totally different shift in commitment to the things that you want. So eliminate try, and I guarantee you your results will shift massively overnight. Can't, I mean, that one's pretty obvious, yet a lot of people from I can't. So how disempowering is that? Make a choice. So if you're choosing not to do someone, use the word choose. Definitely don't use the word can't. Obviously, when you say you use the word can't, you take solutions off the table right there. And but is just really a disclaimer for invalidating everything. Yeah, you like, oh my gosh, I really want to, grow my business and hit these goals and do this, but it's lockdown. And it's like, oh, okay. So basically everything you just said, you disqualified, you invalidated. And so, but try and can't are, if you just practice not saying those words. And Eugene was a part of my coaching that I just did, and he had to physically pay. So you're not a lot of times going to make changes in your life unless it hurts, unless it's painful. So Eugene had to pay rands every time he said those words into a pot that he never got back.
And amazing how now that so in Afrikaans, if you translate but, it's more. So we say, so I'm just going to say it in Afrikaans, ek wil gaan hardloop, maar. So that word in Afrikaans, now that I hear about it, or now that I know that it's there, the amount of times you pick it up, I almost don't like you for teaching that.
I'm so sorry. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yes. What these guys. Oh, and John, welcome to the tribe, John.
Welcome.
So you'll be seeing a lot more of Yvonne and Jane. And then they just ask for your contact details. Kelley will chat afterwards and we can see how to send it, because we've got everyone tagged in the email sequence as well. So everyone that joined the webinar, we have their details. We don't want to send your details out for people that registered but never attended. And then, or maybe we should actually just make it part of the Mastermind Group. So we'll post it on
the Mastermind group
on our WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
But we'll just chat to you afterwards and just find out what's the best way to do that and where you want them.
Sure.
You don't want to get flooded with
messages. No worries. And I just want to say thank you to the both of you. And you're both extraordinary entrepreneurs. Will, I met you once, and I liked you immediately, and I knew that you were someone I would want to spend time with. And Eugene, you're just such an extraordinary person, and I know that what you guys are doing, you're impacting a lot of people, and absolutely you guys can coach people and add value to people. And so anything that you do, I know you're experts at, and I would plug into it. So for those people that are listening, absolutely, the two of you are experts at what you do, and you do it with great intentions. And so just thank you for the both of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelley. And then I'm just going to put up the offer one more time for anyone else that wants to join our Mastermind Group and be part of our membership. But otherwise, thanks, Kelley. Thanks, guys, for attending. Next week, we are actually interviewing Will next week from Tribe. So he's got a business. He climbs mountains for business. It's just insane. So Will Butler's coming on next week from Tribe, where we're going to talk about climbing mountains and how that just moving out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself in other areas, how that influences your business as well. Cool. So awesome, guys. Thanks, Kelley. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kelley.
everybody.
I feel jacked up. I want to get going. So thanks for that. Thanks to our tribe members for joining. I hope you guys learned a lot. We'll catch you on our WhatsApp group and we'll chat a bit more, and we'll share Kelley's details to everyone that's part of our mastermind. If you're not yet, join now. $750 once off. It's a ridiculously low fee. So hop on. The value you get is immense. I mean, we pay 2.5 grand an hour for coaching. You get way more than an hour of our time for $750. It's just crazy.
Cool,
So
Kelley.
cool. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thank you very much for your time. Awesome. Good luck with the business, and keep us posted on the next level of Kelley's ventures.
I will. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Super awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Keep well.
tribe.
Bye.
Chat soon. Ciao.